Gentlemen, Adam here, Average Man Above Average Life, where we see you go to bed a better version of yourself than when you woke up. Thanks for joining for part 5 to our How to Avoid a Bad Relationship video. In these series of videos, we're going to look at why she left and why she's no longer attracted to me. So in part 4, we spoke about going to the extreme. We're going to keep on that and dovetail when we're thinking about our thoughts now and having our thoughts go to the extreme, where we can actually become self-sabotaging with those thoughts. Now I'm going to use the example of if we have to have a critical conversation with our woman. What a lot of us guys tend to do is we have that argument before it even happens in our minds. We go through the conversation, we see her reaction, we assume the worst in her reactions, and then we approach the subject from that point of negativity and from that point of hostility. So we all know that when you approach a conversation in that manner, the conversation is not going to go well. Coming in as aggressive, you're coming in as very, confrontational. So she's going to respond to you with that aggression and in that equally, if not more so, confrontational level. So I'm going to use the example of what I always gave my guys as a sales coach. Never assume you know what the client's thinking, and don't ever make the decision for the client. So if you think a solution is good for this client, and you're actually thinking that they're not going to go for it because it's too expensive or it's too elaborate, you just made the decision for that client, taking away all their rights. So never ever assume that with your woman. Don't ever assume that she's not going to like what you have to bring. Don't ever assume that she's going to react negatively, okay? Have that positive thought. Keep that positive thoughts in mind. I'm going back again to my high school basketball coach. He always used to tell me, I used to struggle with my free throws. So he always told me, picture it going in, envision it going in when you're taking that shot. So I was always like, what's he talking about? He's living in a fantasy world. He wants me to live in a fantasy world? I need to work on my mechanics. I need to work on the mechanics of the shot. Whereas what I realized what he meant is that if I keep that positive attitude, in addition to working on the mechanics of the shot, that is going to increase my chances of making that free throw. So now I took that into advice, and yeah, it did improve my free throw. But I didn't take that advice for life in general. I just recently incorporated that advice into my everyday life, where I'm always thinking about the positive outcome as opposed to the negative. And that really, really changed a lot of my interactions with people and women in general. When you approach things positively, you give up that positive vibe, you give up that positive energy, and that person's going to reciprocate it. And you're going to get a lot of good things, not only in your relationship, but again, in life in general, and those people you deal with in life. And keeping in on those negative thoughts and the extremes of negative thoughts. We actually, if things are going rough in the relationship, we kind of already assume that she's checked out. So what we do, we put up a wall. We put up these walls to protect us from the eventual hurt that we're expecting down the line, where she's actually is going to leave, or she actually is, thinking of checking out, where that may not actually be the case. She just may be in her mind. She just may be occupied in thoughts outside the relationship. She may be frustrated with some stuff in the relationship, but she's working through on how she can actually fix it. So don't jump to the conclusion that because she's being quiet, because she's being distant, or because she's actually being a little standoffish, that she's already checked out. She just may be processing it differently than how you process it. So don't jump to the negative thought that she's already checked out, because then you're going to treat her as though you've checked out. Again, in that anticipation of avoiding that hurt. Keep that positive thought where you're actually going up and speaking to her to find a resolution to the issue, or find some sort of resolution to the problem that may be happening. So we always want to approach it in kindness and in compassion. When you approach things, especially difficult topics and difficult parts in the relationship, or difficult aspects of relationship, when we bring it up from a very negative standpoint, you're going to get negativity. But when you bring it up from a point of compassion and a point of kindness, you're going to leave room for that open dialogue, that open positive dialogue. She's going to respond in kindness and in compassion. So that's showing a lot of empathy. It's showing that you're really in tune and in focus with what you're feeling and what she's feeling. So again, beating that nail on the head, keep a positive outlook in your relationship and in life. It is going to project, and it will affect positively the interactions that you're getting from other people and especially from her. With that being said, a general negativity about life is very taxing on not just you, but on your partner. Who wants to be with someone that always has something negative to say, that only has negative experiences to share with another person? Don't bring your negativity into the relationship. Whatever happened outside that was negative, handle it on your own. You're a man. Handle your problems on your own. If you're bringing it up from a point of getting advice, by all means, do so. Don't do it often. Handle it on your own. Bring positivity into your relationship. Bring positivity into your interactions with her. Leave the negativity out. I can't stress that enough. She wants to be with someone who's positive, and you want to be with someone who's positive. You don't want to be in a relationship where everything's negative and you only enjoy speaking about the negatives. Okay? You want to enjoy your relationship. You want to enjoy the positive aspects of your relationship. And when there are negative things happening in the relationship, if you approach it with compassion, kindness, and positivity, then you're going to turn those negatives into a more fruitful conversation and into more solutions providing, as opposed to dwelling on why it was negative to begin with. So don't be that energy vampire. Don't be that negative person. Try to stay upbeat. I'm not saying be happy-go-lucky at all times in your life. Obviously, we gotta have, we're men with emotions as well. We're human. So we're gonna have those down times. But limit them, handle them yourself, and show your woman that you are that confident, strong man, and show her that you got things covered. You know how to handle negativity. You know how to handle it in a positive light. You know how to handle it very mature and very, very, manly. So guys, in wrapping up, just one quick tip on how to maintain that positivity is, there's an old saying, find the silver lining in every cloud. So there's an exercise that I practice where I put myself through. I actually got it, funny enough, from The Walking Dead. I can't remember his name, Bob. Remember when Bob was having that conversation with Sasha? And she was curious about how he's always able to spin things positively. That's a great example on how to actually develop that positive way of thinking. Now, if you haven't seen that, if you don't watch The Walking Dead, not a plug by the way, if you haven't seen The Walking Dead or that episode, or if you don't remember it, it's very simple. When there's something that negative that pops up in your life, try to find the positive notes behind it. Try to find what positive outcomes may come from it. And one positive outcome that will always come from negativity is that you learn something from it and that you've learned how to overcome it. So guys, thanks very much again for joining us on part 5 to our How to Avoid a Bad Relationship video. Part 6 and all the other parts to this video series will be linked in the description, as well as, hopefully by now, I would have figured out how to tag it on the top right hand, well, my right hand, your left hand of the screen. So as always, like, comment, subscribe, and share, and have an above average day.